Hi everyone, welcome back to another workout video. So today guys, I'm going to talk about a topic and I hope that this is going to be helpful for all of you who have started calisthenics, or maybe you have started working out yourself from a long time, but you may be doing this motion wrong. So this video is primarily done because I've seen so many people, especially beginner athletes, doing dips and push-ups with this bad form, and that is putting them in a higher risk of having an injury to the shoulders. And of course, if possibly, I want to warn as many people that the movement should be done in another way, should be done in a more healthier way, so that you can keep your shoulders healthier and you don't want to have an injury. Now, today I'm going to talk about a rule that in calisthenics is known as the 90 degrees rule, a 90 degrees angle rule. So when you're doing push-ups and dips, and you're doing a competition, right, in order for the rep to be counted as correctly executed, you need to lower your elbows until you reach the height of the shoulder. So, for example, here, if I'm doing a dip, I need to lower my elbow until it's on the same height of my shoulder. So right here, and then push up. That is called a good rep. The same for a push-up. So if I'm doing a push-up here and I want it to be counted, I need to go as deep as it requires for me to reach 90 degrees and then push up. Otherwise, if this 90 degrees angle is not reached, the rep is not counted. So you're gonna need to do it again. So what happens is that many athletes or many people that wanna then participate in competitions, they start training always with this 90 degrees rule in their minds. So every time they're doing push-ups, every time they're doing dips, they're thinking about, I need to go until 90 degrees and then push up, 90 degrees and push up, so they can build their strength from there. Unfortunately, most athletes are doing this movement correctly in a biomechanically wrong way, and they're putting themselves in a higher risk of having an injury to the shoulders, because of the fact that this motion is performed by most of the athletes with a rounding of the shoulders in the bottom position. So because of the fact that in order for this rule to be respected, I need to reach the same height of my elbow with my shoulder, right, with the head of the humerus, right, pretty much. What they're doing is they're bringing the head of the humerus down and forward. So this is like rounding the shoulders, right? So instead of keeping the shoulders correctly placed, so more neutral, externally rotated, they are internally rotating and they're pushing the head of the humerus forward like this, so that they need to move less their elbow. You can see that if I just move my head of the humerus down and to the front, I need to move less the elbow until I reach the same height. See? If instead I keep the shoulder in a good position, I need to move much more the elbow and it becomes a lot harder. So athletes do this unconsciously because it's biomechanically advantageous to round the shoulders, so to internally rotate and to push them forward, to be able to do this movement faster, cleaner, recruiting more muscle groups, because you are placing the shoulder joint in a more mechanically advantaged position. But the sad truth is that this position, even if it's mechanically advantageous to perform better reps, recruit more muscles and so on, it's bad for the shoulder joint, because of the fact that the humerus head, right, when you are rounding your shoulders, so you're bringing your humerus towards the front and towards the like this, right? So from here to here, the humerus head is pressing against a part of the capsule of the shoulder. So in the shoulder joint, there is a capsule that's gonna be around the humerus head. When you do this motion, so when you bring the humerus, when you round your shoulders, you bring the humerus towards the front, and then you are under load, so you have your body weight, you have some weight, the humerus is doing this, so it's being brought towards the front, right, because of this position, and then because of the load, it's pressing against the capsule. And all this pressing may cause an injury, may cause a tear, may cause an inflammation, swelling, pain, and a loosening of the anterior capsule, and many other things. So even if mechanically it's advantageous for our muscles to have the shoulder internally rotated so that then we can push more, we can have a better performance, it's bad biomechanically for the capsule of the shoulder, for the health of the shoulders. So my recommendation for all beginner athletes, and even for those athletes that are more advanced, is that when you train, remember to train smart. You just don't need to train for the competition, right? You need to train knowing what you're doing and trying to train in a healthier way, because you don't want to train just for 5 or 10 years. If possibly, you want to train for your whole life. So training for the long term is a very key point, and it's important to train in a healthy way, so that when you're going to be 30 years of age, 40, 50, 60, you're not going to have any problems in your joints. You're going to have any pain, any discomfort because of the training, of the bad training that you did when you were younger. So remember, guys, to train smart. It's better the quality than the quantity. So I know it's easier to round the shoulders and to push, because it's gonna make you able to perform, to do more reps, to get less tired, but it's bad for your shoulders. So start maybe slowing down, start I know it's more difficult if you keep your shoulder blades in your shoulders in a good position throughout the pushing movement. It's gonna be a lot harder to perform the motion because your muscles are in a more mechanically disadvantage. But it's important for the health of your shoulders to do this movement correctly. So the solution is pretty simple. You need to use your shoulder blades. You need to think about keeping your chest open and your shoulder blades squeezed and back, all right? So imagine here I'm doing a push-up, all right? So when I go down and I go up, I don't wanna close my chest, so I don't wanna round my shoulders, especially when you're in the bottom position, because this is the position where the load is the highest, so where the muscles wanna give in, but you have to think about not giving in and keeping a good posture. So here, keep the chest open, and more importantly, think about squeezing your shoulder blades. So from the back here, don't keep your shoulder blades like this, right? So this is like rounded shoulders. You can see that my shoulder blades are in the upward part. They're like rotated like this, right? So you don't wanna have this position, right? But instead you wanna squeeze the shoulder blades, and you can see that just by squeezing the shoulder blades, they're bringing the humerus back. You can see here, this is very simple. Here is a rounded position. I just squeeze now the scapula. See how my posture becomes much better just by squeezing the scapulas down and back. And so remember this, squeezing the scapulas, keeping your shoulder open in all position, and that's all you need. Because then now when you're gonna do push-ups, when you're gonna do dips, if you think about this, rather than thinking about going until 90 degrees angle, that in my opinion it's a pretty crappy rule, because it's just something for competitions, but in a non-competition training, it's just a useless rule. Try to always, reach the maximum position, so the lowest position that you can reach, keeping a good posture. So for example, doing push-ups. If you can keep a good position of push-ups and you can go even lower than 90 degrees, do it. It's just the best, because your muscle elasticity allows you to do it. So if you can keep a good posture, go even lower than 90 degrees angle. On dips, it's the same. So dips is a motion where this rounding of the shoulders and bringing the humerus towards the front, the back, it's more evident. On some people, when they go down, like you can even see the tip of the bone almost pushing right here. So that's what you don't want to see. You want to have your humerus always pressed backwards, your shoulder blades, remember, activated, chest open, and you don't want to see the humerus up here. You want to see instead the deltoid, but you don't want to see the humerus. So again, keeping this in your head, try to squeeze the scapulas, open the chest, go as low as your body allows you to go, because maybe your muscles will not allow you to go deeper than this, because maybe they're not used, they don't have enough strength yet. So go as low as you can and then push up, keeping good posture. If you see that you go down and you start losing your shoulders, so your shoulders start going forward and forward and forward, then you need to stop and you need to push up. So you don't have to go lower than that. So always keep your shoulders in a good position and then push and go up and down from there. As you become stronger, you're gonna be able to start leaning a little bit forward. Now, leaning forward doesn't mean rounding the shoulders. Leaning forward means rotating your whole trunk like this. So leaning your whole body forward. And in that way, you can then do something like this. So keeping your shoulders in a good position. By leaning forward, you can go a little deeper. And as your muscles get stronger, you're gonna be able to start going deeper while keeping your shoulders in the correct position, and so on. So this is the solution, guys. It's very simple, very effective, but you need to think about it. And especially if you're a beginner athlete, you're gonna start training smart. So start training in this way. Start thinking about keeping your chest open, keeping your shoulder blades squeezed. Don't give in when you go down, but if you need to rest because you feel like your muscles can't do the motion, that's perfect, rest. But don't try to push yourself too much, trying to do more reps, but then at the end of the day, losing the form, start rounding your shoulders and start doing the motion in a wrong way. Because remember, there is a higher risk of injury if you round your shoulders and if you do dips and push-ups like this with rounded shoulders. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and see ya. Bye bye.